I think it's fair to say that everyone who has played against the Dilo since they got fixed is already sick and tired of them. I also agree personally that it's a very unfun matchup and it feels busted as hell. Obviously, I can understand it if you are a Dilo enjoyer, that you will have a strong tendency to toss tomatoes at me for having that opinion. Saying something along the lines of, yo bro, they finally have their mechanic working. It's just how the Dilo is supposed to be when the clones are working. Kind of ignoring the sheer fact that this dinosaur is way too strong. Like, you're getting two shot, essentially. Yeah. What do I mean with way too strong while equally acknowledging that the clones are a visual representation of the Phantom? Well, basically the foremost issue, and like I said, this always comes back, is that the clones are essentially range damage in a melee combat game. Now, humans will come in and they will be able to shoot at you, but they're gonna have to do a whole lot to get guns going, to get bullets going, and they are frail, like you hit them and they die. Dilo is not the same. Dilo is quite tanky, like you're able to face tank a Carno and get it envenomated, and after that you just pick it apart with clones. You can just do that. And to add insult to injury on that, I can do this to you in broad daylight. Even though it's kind of depicted as this nocturnal hunter, it just does this to you in daylight. So yeah, basically way too strong. Additionally, it also bites way too fast. It's also faster. Like, there's another issue I have, and I'm gonna have to pull the Sarah versus Paki example here to really make my point come across. See, the game is designed in a balanced way, that the dino is either stronger than the other dino or faster than the other dino. There's always a possibility of survival. Now, I'm gonna use my favorite dinosaur, so people might call me out for being biased, but the Raptor versus Dilo situation is not healthy. Let's say Sarah versus Becky, right? Just to make my example clear first. The Sarah cannot outrun the Becky. Why is that? Because if the Sarah would outrun the Becky would die either way. If it would clash with the Sarah, it would die. If it would run away from the Sarah, it would get caught and it would die. And the game developers pretty much gave Becky the speed advantage here and made sure that Sarah does not outspeed these herbivores. For this whole reason of survival has to be possible. Now, in a situation with Dilo and Raptor, for example, the Dilo is both faster than the Raptor and stronger than the Raptor and has the better ability. Running away from a Dilo that knows what he's doing, forget about it. He's gonna chase you to the end of the earth and you can't get away. Like, you can maybe use your agility and stuff like that, but you would just outstam you in the long run. So that's kind of a problem that I'm seeing. Like, it's too fast, and on top of that, it bites so fast that I'm calling it an auto clicker. Like, that thing is going like bam, 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 while other dinosaurs have a rhythm of bam, bam. You know, it just outperforms on every single, yeah, every single thing it does better. On top of that, like, it hits you twice, it runs away, and you are essentially being two shot. It's just that the rest of the damage comes from the clones. So, I'm gonna present an idea I have, and I want to present this to the devs.
Because I do think that Dilo can actually be fixed. See, the problem is that it's currently just not working. It's either broken or it's not working. You know, like when the clones don't work, the Dilos die to pretty much anything and they're like, my mechanic isn't working. And when they do work, they bite you twice, you die. So we have this black and white scenario. They have been trying to balance this. I've seen various changes come by. None of them actually work. So I'm gonna give it a go. I actually have an idea. Uh, yeah, hear me out on this one. Because it's actually not bad at all, in my opinion. I would play this. You know, like if Dilo was changed into this, I would no longer have the feeling of like, no, I don't want to play easy mode. And at the same time, I would be intrigued by how it would work, that I would actually touch the dinosaur. Fighting against it would also become more interesting because it would balance out on how it works. It would also require the Dilo to interact with the other players, and additionally, it's not the case anymore where if you kill the Dilo, then suddenly, oh, you die. I mean, it depends, because in my idea that is still a possibility, but then you must have let it come really far for that to happen. So, yeah, the idea basically, right? Imagine that next to your blood drop, you have another symbol, but this one is green. The same symbol, you know, a drop, but a green drop. Every time you get bit, you basically fill this meter, and that's gonna be your venom intensity meter. Like, the higher that meter is filled up, the more damage you would take over time. Like, every tick you would take a X amount of damage, which starts really low when you just barely apply one bite. But once you have a few bites going, that venom meter is like halfway full, like your prey would already start to feel these effects. Now, stage 3 thing, we should keep that. However, one major change should be that the clones should no longer deal damage to you. A hallucination cannot damage you, so we can also make that more logical, where you are just being disorientated by it, and this additionally would allow for the Dilos to attack you while you are being disorientated. Like, a clone runs in, they see you all bite into the air, like basically the same as baiting, just without having to bait, and you could go in and bam, apply more venom. I think this is way more interesting to play than just having 2 bites in and then just face tank, face tank, face tank, purple, run away, spam right mouse button, because that is so brain dead. And I really feel that this is the way to go about it, where we add like another drop next to the blood. If a Dilo bites you, then it appears. You know, you have to fill up this meter instead of deplete it, like the blood you have to deplete it. And this meter would over time deplete. So the intensity would slowly get lower and lower and lower as the venom starts to wear off slowly. But every time you get bit, more venom gets applied, and that would bump the meter up a little bit, bump the meter up a little bit, etc., etc. That could be really, really interesting. So I want to, as the devs, like, consider that idea, please. It would make Dilo so much more balanced than it currently is. Like, I cannot think of one person that has ever told me it's like, oh bro, I just fought a Dilo pack that was so much fun. No, the first response I'm getting from them is, bro, Dilo is so cancer to fight. You know, it is just what it is. You guys have tried it to balance it over and over with these hallucinations. The hallucinations are a really, really cool idea. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like it. The only issue I have is that they deal damage. And one of the main problems is that sometimes these hallucinations can bug out, get stuck behind something. You think you're fine, and then all of a sudden you go from blue HP and bam, you're on red because 4 of them just immediately hit you like doof 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 doof, like you just get nuked. That's not how Venom works, right? So if we change it with that green blood drop idea that fills up, intensifies as you're getting bitten, it also makes things more logical. Players can also make better choices. And as for the speed of Dilo, like, I don't even think this is a Dilo problem. I just think that is actually a Raptor problem, because Raptor just doesn't get enough love here. I also think it's simply a Carno problem. Carno should deal more damage, it should get some buffs. And, you know, that is not Dilo, it's just the other dinosaurs that need a buff in certain areas. I think that Raptor needs more speed, so that it can outspeed a Dilo and stay away from that whole situation, because it's a really bad matchup for you. And for Carno, if the one starts face tanking you in broad daylight, you should just burn right through it. Additionally, in broad daylight, I think that the hallucinations should be even less effective than they are today. Like, it's too easy still to get it going.
An example is a Carno has a 150 bite force. Let's say you land headshots the whole time. That's 75 and 150. That is basically 225 damage. It takes like 3 bites to get you purple and to disengage, and then to just, disorientate the shit out of you. And in that time, you can maybe land 2 bites. Now that is give or take what 450 damage that you can deal as a Carno, maybe 550, 600 if you're outbiting. If you're ramming into a bite, into another bite, then we could maybe even get to a point where you do a bit over 600. But every single time that Dilo is going to survive a face tank. So yeah, Carno needs a bit more bite force, I think. Giving it 200 bite force would definitely change things. And for Raptor, just give it 50 kilometers. Like, I'm dead ass serious. Like, Raptor feels really good on 50. It also feels like it's way more balanced. Yeah, this is basically my little Dilo rant. I think that a mechanic like that could be super interesting, super fun to play as well, as you could, use the hallucinations to bait with. Afterwards, you go in for a bite and you intensify that venom meter higher and higher. At the same time, you could keep the stages in so that you have hallucinations and know when your hallucinations are working. And altogether, it would make the Dilo more complete than this current black and white situation that we have, where it's either too weak, underperforming, or on the other side, way too strong because of all the range damage that is bonkers. The damage over time is way more interesting in my opinion, in combination with hallucinations for disorientation. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, that's my idea basically.